my name is Tina Louise Spalding and I am a trance channel. I speak for quite a few different beings, but mostly now I'm speaking for Ananda, my guides and teachers, personal teachers. They came through after a Kundalini awakening 3 years ago on the summer solstice of 2012. And Kundalini awakening is a sudden shift in the energies of your body mind complex, usually precipitated by a long period of spiritual study or focus. My study and focus was A Course in Miracles lessons and the forgiveness practice that is recommended in that text. And my guides and teachers, Ananda and Jesus, recommend that text if you would like to speed up your awakening process and relieve suffering in your life. So that is my practice. And as a consequence of that Kundalini awakening, I developed the ability, or what appeared to be spontaneously, to be able to speak for non-physical beings. Ananda came through it first writing, then speaking, and then over the last 3 years I've added different communications to that, speaking for 20 different dead celebrities in Great Minds Speak to You, the book that had published last year. And then at the end of that book, Jesus came through, and I've been working with him for the last 18 months to 2 years. So I've had a lot of questions about different aspects of consciousness as we're posting these videos. So this video, I'm going to ask Ananda to address the subject of reincarnation for us, and to see if they can shed some light on that interesting subject in the short video that we're going to do. So I take a breath, and Ananda will come through. It's very clear when they're speaking, so I will see you at the end of the session. We're with you again, dear ones. We say welcome to those of you who regularly view us, and if this is your first video, we would like to congratulate you on your consciousness attracting this experience to you. You are the creator of your own experience, and if you are watching this video, you have brought this experience to you. It is not a random event, so we want you to pay attention, because your consciousness has asked this question, and this answer has come to you through this particular form. Reincarnation in your society is gradually being re-accepted. It was a fundamental part of all spiritual understanding before it was forbidden by the Roman Catholic Church many centuries ago. The Roman Catholic Church in its origins was a very limiting structure and was used to implement many restrictive dogmas. Dogmas are ideas that are not allowed to be questioned. Dogmas are man-made ideas. They are not truth. Truth is always freedom-seeking. Truth is always loving. Truth is always kind. Truth is always forgiving. And so if you encounter any teachings in any spiritual practice that are not these things, we want you to know that they are not the truth, because they will cause you suffering. If you believe in anything that limits your creative ability, limits your self-expression, limits that which you seek to be, it is going to cause suffering, because spirit is innately creative. Spirit is innately freedom-seeking. And that is what your incarnational journey is about. It is not a linear process, as you have been taught, but it is a simultaneous, multi-dimensional process that is happening all at once. So many of you will have had what you consider past life memories. This is an incorrect naming of this experience. We would say these would be shared ideas from simultaneous lifetimes, or bleed through ideas. You know, this idea that if a cloth is very transparent, something can bleed through it very easily. Well, this is the nature of your incarnational consciousness. It is very multi-layered, multi-dimensional, and there are many things going on at the same time. So you have an overriding structure of consciousness. You may call it your higher self. your oversoul or your greater self. Some of you will refer to it as your teachers and guides and spiritual guides. But for many of you, these names separate consciousness out into understandable bits and bytes because you have no choice. You are existing now in what is a quite compartmentalized consciousness. And as a consequence of your society's teachings and your society's trainings, you are very limited in your words. You are often very limited in your experience. And so you have told a children's story, let us say, about a very, very complicated and profoundly well-written novel. So there are simple stories children tell, parents tell their children. And there are deep and complex novels. And the truth of reincarnation is that it is a deep and complex novel. You will experience hangovers, let us say, from other incarnations. You might have a terrible fear of drowning, for example, because in some past exploration of consciousness or another exploration of consciousness, we are using the words past because that is the most comfortable word to communicate with you in this circumstance. Your mental structure's understanding of time is so deeply entrenched, it is very hard for you to understand simultaneous time. It is in fact not time as you understand it to be. But in your consciousness experience at the moment, you will get inklings of other incarnations. Yes, you may dream about being a painter when you are not one. You may fear drowning when you have never had that experience. And these can be bleed through events from other consciousness. But what we want you to understand is that this consciousness that you are in now is the most important one. This is the one in which you are able to exert your decision-making abilities. This is the one in which you are able to forgive. This is the one in which you are able to focus. So your other incarnations will become more and more clear, more and more accessible as you apply these principles in this incarnation. And so it is very important for you not to become too obsessed with other lives, because those are other lives, other aspects of your higher consciousness are exploring those, but they do affect you and they do suffer the consequences and reap the benefits of all of the work that you do in this lifetime. And that is what we would like you to think about in this brief instruction. We would like you to remember that every time you are loving in this lifetime, your other lifetimes experience a more loving experience. Every time you let go of a grudge and forgive somebody in this lifetime, your other lifetimes experience an expansion, an increase in frequency. They have a better time. And you do too. It is not for some theoretical purpose that we ask you to practice forgiveness or non-judgment or compassion. It is so that you begin to suffer less. For all of those things remove you from the awareness of love's presence. They take you further and further away from truth. The more loving you are, the kinder you are, the more forgiving you are, the closer you come to truth. And as you come closer to truth, as your mind becomes quieter, as your frequency goes up, you will have more and more access to your other incarnations. Why? Because you have deemed yourself evolved enough to understand. You have shown spirit that you understand the principles of creation, that you understand the value of forgiveness, that you understand what life is for, how it works, and how to best use it. And so you are offered windows into parts of yourself that spirit knows now you can handle looking at. So if you would like to have more experiences of other lifetimes, let us work together to raise your frequency through the practice of forgiveness, through eating healthy organic food, through listening to your guidance system and forgiving those who you think have committed sins against you, for they have not. They were mistakes, and they can be forgiven, just as you are forgiven for any mistakes that you make in your own perceptions. We are Ananda. We are your fellow travelers and teachers and journeyers on this wonderful exploration of consciousness, and we will speak to you again soon. Okay, I am in a different location today. I have moved for a short period into a sublet in another part of British Columbia. So the background's a bit different and my experience is different. So I'm enjoying the new experience in a more urban environment, seeing what that brings up for me. I hope these videos help you on your day, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.